This is the beginning of Chapter 3 for Microsoft Excel 2013, working with large worksheets, charting, and what-if analysis. Our objectives are that students will have mastered the material in Chapter 3 when you can do all of these, which is rotate text in a cell, create a series of month names. So go ahead and pause your recording so you can read through those. And our objectives continued. You can pause your recording again so that you can read through these. Introduction. This chapter introduces you to techniques that will enhance your ability to create worksheets and draw charts. This chapter also covers other methods for entering values in cells. You will learn how to use absolute cell references and how to use the if function to assign a value to a cell based on a logical test. Assumptions. You need to know what assumptions are. These are values in your cells that you can change to determine new values for formulas. This chapter emphasizes the use of assumptions and shows how to use assumptions to answer what-if questions. When you are finished with this project, your finished spreadsheet with your what-if analysis will look like this. It says Froyo to go, 6-month financial projection. I guess they start in April and go to September. They have their little charts at the end and their analysis. And the colors may be different for yours, but it should look like this. You'll also create a chart, and this will be your clustered column chart, and it will look like this. That is on your screen. You always want to talk about what is required for your project, what you need, where the data is going to come from, what calculations will you be using, and what type of chart requirements you will need. So you can pause your recording and read through this. All right, let's get started. Open an Excel spreadsheet, save to your student account in the Computer 1 folder, and name it Large Worksheets, Charting, and What-If Analysis. I'm going to do that now. So I'm going to open up an Excel spreadsheet, and I'm going to click on File, Save As. I'm going to find my name on the left-hand side. I'm going to find my Computer 1 folder, and I'm going to name it Large Worksheets Charting and what, oops, what in the world am I typing? Large worksheets. Okay, I'm going to pause this while I type that in. Okay, I'm going to click Save and go ahead and turn your book to page 135. And the first thing that we're going to do is, number 1, select cell A1 and then type Froyo to go. And that will be our worksheet title. Now select cell A2 and we're going to type 6-month financial projection. And this will be your worksheet subtitle. And press Enter key. And now number 3 on page 135 says to apply the slice theme to the workbook. Or you can choose any theme that you feel will look good. So click on Page Layout, and on the left-hand side are the themes. The text suggests that we click on the Slice theme, but because we're using 2010 and this book is for 2013, the Slice theme is not available. So you can select a theme that you feel will look nice. And I'm going to go, I think, with Trade Show. Of course, we can always change that later. And the next thing we're going to do is rotate text in a cell. Turn to page 136. Number 1, if necessary, tap or click the Home tab and then select cell B3. This is the cell that will include the first month name in the series of month names. So type the month April and then click Enter. Now click the Alignment Settings dialog box launcher. And so we're on the Home tab and it's in the Alignment group. And this little arrow in the bottom right hand corner is your dialog box launcher. So when you click that, you have a pop-up box up here. Number 2 on page 136 says to click the 45-degree point. And there's different ways that you can do this. You can either take this and click on the little red dot and make it go up until you get to 45 degrees, or you could just actually clear out what's in this box and type in manually that you want your text to be angled at a 45-degree angle. Now turn to page 137. Number 3 says to click the OK button. So click OK. Now everything that we type here will be at a 45-degree angle. And we actually don't want what would be in cell B4 to be at a 45-degree angle. So we need to click on the alignment box again and set it so that what is in B3 is at a 45-degree angle. There we go. So now April is at an angle. And what was in this box should not be at an angle. And then after you change that, just click OK. Now on page 137, we are going to use the fill handle to create a series of month names. So click on cell B3 and then make sure you grab the fill handle by changing your big white plus sign to a smaller black plus sign, and just grab that and go all the way over to September, and that looks really good. Now turn to page 138. Okay, so that does look good. After you have that selected, this box pops up. This is called the Autofill Options menu, and we are going to click on that, and we are going to make sure that it says the Fill Series. And once you click that, it will hide, and we don't see it anymore. Now, under number 3, it says to select cell H3. So let's find H3. Oh, there it is. It popped up, didn't it? Okay, but anyway, type total, and then tap or click the right arrow key to go to cell I3, and we are going to type in the word chart. and then press the right arrow key and turn to page 139. On page 139, Table 3.2 talks about options available on the Autofill Options menu, and you can read that at your own leisure. The next table, 3.3, talks about examples of series using the fill handle. And I'd like to look at this a little closer. So I have that actually on my PowerPoint presentation. And the examples of series using the fill handle, it's a little bit easier to read on the PowerPoint than it is in the text. So example number 1, the contents of the cell or cells copied using the fill handle. So if we put in 4 o'clock, the next 3 values of extended series would be 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 7 o'clock. If you typed in quarter 2 or QTR2 with no spaces and you use the fill handle, the next 3 values would be quarter 3, quarter 4, and then it would start over with quarter 1. You could also write that out by saying QUARTER space 1, and if you dragged the fill handle to copy that into the next cells, then the values would be quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4. If you put in this type of date, 22-JUL, short for July, comma, 22-SEP, short for September, then copied that, then the next 3 would be the 22nd of November, January, and March. Because if you go from July to September, that is a 2-month jump, and then September, October, November is a 2-month jump. November, December, January, January, February, March. So if you wanted it to do every other month, Excel will do that for you. The number, the years, the sequence of numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now on this one, example 7, it says 625, then it goes down to 600 in the second cell. Your next cell would go down by 25 points, and then again and again. Monday, we've done that one before, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. If you start on Sunday and then the second cell says Tuesday, then the next 3 cells will be Thursday, Saturday, Monday. So you're skipping days there. And if you typed in 4th section and copied that, you'd have 5th section, 6th section, 7th section. And then example 11, you have the number 2,205, and then the next cell you have 2,208. So we went up by 3 numbers. And if we copied that and pulled our fill handle over, the next 3 cells would have added 3 to each additional cell. So that's pretty neat that Excel will do that for us. Let's continue with our spreadsheet. And again, we're on page 139 at the bottom, number 1. We're going to move our pointer to the boundary between column heading A and column heading B. And when we do that, our pointer changes to a split double arrow. Now we're going to drag the pointer to the right until the screen tip displays the desired column width. And in this case, we want it to be about 38, depending on what theme you selected. So let's go ahead and change that to 309 pixels. We're going to go way over. So 309 pixels, and release your mouse. And if this doesn't look right based on your theme, you can always change that later. Now turn to page 140 in your textbook. Let's click column heading B to select that column and then hold your mouse down so that we can also select cells C, D, E, F, and G. Now we're going to move the pointer to the boundary between column headings B and C until our pointer changes to the split double arrow. And we're going to drag the pointer to the right until the screen tip displays the desired width, which in this case would be 14.5 or 121 pixels. So click and hold that down and drag it to the right until we get that to about, well, to exact. Now when we release our mouse, we'll notice that not only does the B column change, but because we selected C, D, E, F, and G, they also change, and they are also the same width and the same size width. Now we're going to enter and indent row titles. We're still on page 140, at the bottom half of the page, number 1. If necessary, scroll your worksheet so that column A and row 4 are visible. So we can see column A and we can see row 4. We're going to enter the row titles in the range A4 to A16, but without the indents that are shown in the textbook. So we will start with cell A4, and you will type in what is on page 140, revenue. And I'm going to go ahead and pause this while I type all of this in. And I now have all of the information with nothing in A7 and all of this information and nothing typed in cell A15. And notice that I did not indent. And what we're going to do now is, after you have all that typed in, we're going to select cell A5, and then at the top of your screen, I want you to click on, not that one, here, this one. In the alignment group, I want you to click on the increase indent, and let's click that one time, and that increases our indentation of the text. Now, let's select cell A9 to A13. So you have bonus, commission, the kiosk rental. The kiosk is something like if you were in the mall, they have the different kiosks in the middle of the walkway, and you can purchase things like soda pops, and I actually saw one the other day. It had proactive skincare where you could just put your card in and it would select what you wanted and it would just come out like it would if it was a soda pop. And then we also have marketing selected and equipment repair and maintenance, which I did not capitalize my M, so I'm going to do that now. Whoops, no. There it is. Okay, so I'm going to reselect those. Bonus, commission, kiosk, marketing, and equipment. And then I'm going to go back up to the top in my alignment group. I'm going to click on increase indent one time. And now I'm going to click save. So everybody click save. Now we're going to select cell A18. So come on down here. If you need to scroll down, that's fine. Make sure you can see cell A18. Oh, well, the book says just to deselect the current cell. Okay, now I'll turn to page 141. The next thing that we are going to do is copy a range of cells to a non-adjacent destination area. So that means like if we took what is here and we wanted to put it someplace that's non-adjacent, we would probably want to bring it over somewhere over here because it's not together. These cells from A4 to A6 and B4 to B6 are adjacent because they're next to each other. And that's how we did the April, May, June, July, and August, and September. These are all adjacent to each other. They're together. Now we're going to try to copy the range of cells to a non-adjacent area. So on page 141, at the bottom half of your paper, number 1, with cell A18 selected, type, oh well, we did need this, type what if assumptions. And this will be the new row title, and then the book says to click enter. And now we're going to select the range A9 to A13. So A9 to A13. And then go up to the top of your screen. And in this section, yours might be bigger than mine, but I have a very small copy button. And I'm going to click on the copy button. And when I do that, Excel puts this around the selection that I copied. And I am going to select cell A19 and turn to page 142. Now we are going to click the paste button, which my paste button is huge compared to the copy button. And when I do that, you can see that bonus, commission, kiosk rental, marketing, equipment, repair and maintenance has been copied, and it's also indented for us. Now, on your keyboard, find the escape key, and it's in the top left-hand corner of your keyboard, and it says ESC. So click or press that, and when you do, the indication has disappeared that Excel gave us. Okay, so click save. You have to forgive me. I'm not a morning person and I'm doing this in the morning. So let's go ahead and turn to page 143. On page 143, you can read through table 3-4. These are options that are available in your paste options gallery. So go ahead and pause your recording and read through that. At the bottom of page 143, we are going to start in, let's see, this talks about using drag and drop to move or copy cells. So that's fun to do. And then on page 144, using cut and paste to move cells. So there's different ways that you can do this. If you want, you can pause your recording and go through those and actually do that. With me, on page 144, we are going to insert and delete cells in a worksheet. So anytime while the worksheet is on the screen, you can insert cells to enter new data or delete cells to remove unwanted data. You can insert or delete individual cells, a range of cells, rows or columns, or entire worksheets. So let's insert a row. Number 1 on page 144. We want to right-click row heading 20. So I'm just going to come over here and deselect what was selected, and then I'm going to right-click on row 20. And then I'm going to click Insert on the shortcut menu. And when I do that, everything that was in row 20 and down has now moved to row 21 and down. Now I'm going to select cell A20 and I'm going to type in sales revenue for bonus. capitalize the R. And now turn to page 145. Now we are going to right-click on the 19, the row heading 19. So right-click, and when you do that, you have a shortcut menu displayed. Now we're going to click Insert again, and what's going to happen is a row is going to appear above row 19. Row 19 with the word bonus now becomes row 20, and everything below it, I'm going to scroll down, has a new row number. And so now what I'm going to do is, you have something that looks like a paintbrush, and you're going to click on the down arrow beside it. You want to make sure that you want this formatted the same as below. So right now it says format same as above. We want it same as below. And now select cell A19 and type margin to enter our new row title. The next things we're going to do include inserting columns. And so we're going to insert single cells or a range of cells, or we could. So go ahead and click Save and turn to page 147 in your textbook. Number 1 at the bottom of the page, it says enter 77.50% in cell B19. And then 5,000 in cell B20. 60,000 in cell B21. In cell B22, type in 30%. In cell B23, type in 10%. In cell B24, type 5%. And 4% in cell B25. And we are also going to click on Save. Now turn to page 148. Number 1 says to display the Home tab, and number 2 says to enter that information. And so I'm going to pause the recording as I type that in. Okay, so in April I typed in 45,000, May or cell C4 52,000, D for 67,000, and E for July our cost of goods sold was 90,000. That's pretty good. In August our F4 77,500, and in G4 for September 63,750. Now number 3 says to select cell H4, and we're going to click the sum button twice. So click and click. And what has happened is that Excel has added all of that up for us. Now turn to page 149. Excel says to select cell H1 and then I click the Insert Function box. So after you select cell H1, In the cells group, we want the insert function box. Then we are going to click on or select a category. Okay, so H1 is selected, and then you're going to click on Insert. Okay, everybody, if you just did what I did, go ahead and click Undo to move the total back up to cell H3 and the sum to cell H4. And now, with H1 selected, we are going to click here. What we're trying to do is insert the date. So click the Insert Function box, and then go down to More Functions, and cancel, or click Date. And cancel that. Okay, let's try it this way. Click on H1, cell H1, and then at the top, I want you to click on the Formulas tab. Then, in this section, this is our function library, and we want the date and time. Then, select the one that says date, and go ahead and type in the year and the month, which we're projecting from April to September. So let's just go ahead and put March, and then the day, we'll just say it's the last day of March. So March 31st, and then click OK. And now we're on page 150. So right click on cell H1 to display a shortcut menu and a mini toolbar. Shortcut menu is below on my screen, and then this is your shortcut menu or mini toolbar at the top. Now we're going to click Format Cells on the shortcut menu, and this will display the Format Cells dialog box. Let's click the Number tab in this dialog box. And now we're going to click Date in the category list. And then what type of date do we want? We want the one that says 314 or is in that format. So 3 slash double digit number slash and then the 4-digit year is the type we want. Now click OK. And now we're going to double click the border between columns H and I. So take your mouse pointer and place it in between H and I, and then double click. And if necessary, it would have widened the column. And then select cell H2 and enter the place of your birth. So I've typed in Königstein, Austria, which I was not born there, but my great, 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 great ancestors are from Austria, and in the mid 1600s they moved over into the Germany area, And I just think that's a neat thing that I know that my part of my heritage is Austrian and German. So you can type in your birthplace, or maybe if you would like, type in a place where your um, long lost relatives have been born. This is a really good place to stop, and we will. Um, this is the end of first of 3 videos. So you have 2 more videos to go. Be sure to click save and tell your brain, good job today.